Good morning. I'm still feeling super sleepy, as you can see, but I'm feeling so inspired as well on this Monday that I really want to share some more details with you about the workshop, the Creative Intuition workshop that I'm teaching this weekend at the Commons in Muizenberg. So first I want to talk about the space. The Commons I discovered very recently when I moved to Fishhook. Apparently they haven't been open for a very long time, but the history of the space goes far back, with people playing chess and it being a place for community and gathering. So at the moment it's this very cute little coffee shop that has a vinyl section. They have books that you can rent and that you can buy, that you can go through. They always have art up. It's a really vibey space. They have events almost every night, from poetry readings to very special vinyl DJs to music sessions where you actually have to sit, be quiet and listen and be present with the musicians. So I'm always inspired by the flow of interesting and creative people that go through that space. And you can basically find me there 3 times a week working, because they have this really beautiful workspace with good Wi-Fi that you can look over the ocean. And they also have a studio space that you can rent out to do events in. So it made a lot of sense to do my last weekend workshop at the Commons, as they're just super inspiring to me at the moment. And the studio has nice wooden floors, lovely natural lighting. So I'm really, really excited to, on Saturday morning, spend some time in that space, also creating and musing and kind of putting my own energy into the space, as I get so much from the space. So yeah, it's a lovely place to visit. And then we're going to play at the Commons. And this weekend's workshop, to me, the inspiration really comes from the kind of stock taking that happens for me from this time of the year. Maybe because it's my birthday in November, but always from like mid-November, I start thinking about the year that is past and the new year that's coming, and kind of almost calculating, but not in a way of like exactly like writing down exactly what it is that I did and what I want in the future, but more in a sense of feeling. How did I feel this year? What am I very proud of? What am I very grateful of? And how can I use this feeling to manifest similar kinds of opportunities and experiences in the new year? And I think this is a beautiful exercise to do with regards to your connection to your creativity as well. That's why I decided to do an intuition card workshop, which is basically, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the structure. I'm going to take you through a visualization meditation where you drop really deep into your being, and where you start to reflect on this kind of inner knowledge that we all have. So tapping into our intuition, tapping into our inner voice, really connecting to our inner artist through this practice of meditation, and activating the imagination, and kind of take you on a visual journey to meet a part of yourself that would like to speak in the space of your creative life. And then, without giving too much away, we're going to go over into making an intuition card, which is essentially working with multimedia and making a card. And in the beginning, it's going to go straight from the visualization meditation into a very abstract exploration, and then slowly start to take form in the form of collage, in the form of painting and drawing. And obviously, I'm there to guide you to the point where you're writing something down on this intuition card, a message from your inner artist, to kind of remind you to either tap into your creativity more often, a sentence that can be a catalyst to your creative process, a sentence that reminds you how you can get unstuck out of your blocks. Something like, for example, play more, or be curious, or something like that. But it's going to come from in you, and this message becomes really clear when we kind of let go of our mind and really just drop into art making. And I've seen this out of experience where at the end of a session or in the middle of the session, when people are really in that musing, energetic flow space, and I ask them, is there anything interesting that you're discovering while you're working? It's often no, I'm just in the process, or the message is crystal clear. It's one sentence, one insight, one intuition that kind of flips their process and helps them to carry on. Or when I reminded them of it later in like another session or in a one-on-one session, that intuition, that wisdom can kind of catalyze a process again, because it's something that comes from really deep inside. So this is almost like your own personal tarot card, and it doesn't necessarily speak about the future or about a specific instance or about a specific question, besides that it's speaking about your connection to your creativity and how to be more creative. And then this card can be a reminder or kind of space holder or a symbol that you place in your space or access or touch or work with or meditate on when you need to tap into your creativity again. So that's the intuition card, the second part of the workshop. And then the last section of the workshop, we're going to work with some air drying clay, and we're going to make very small totems. So a kind of symbol or something that you can hold. So I've often spoken about the tactile nature of creativity and how a lot of the magic juices and the healing and the therapy part of creativity lies in the sensory nature of working with your hands, of molding something, of carving something, of touching mediums, smelling mediums, and really getting your body involved. So when we make something 3D and a totem of some sorts, this object can become something that's grounding to you. So I carry rocks with me often. I'm such an artist, carry like pieces of bark, interesting textures from nature like leaves and flowers. I have a lot of dried flowers and objects that I'm obsessed about. In my cave at the moment, actually in my studio, there's this whole rock here that has all of these little things on that that are little symbols that sometimes I pick up and I hold or carry with me, and they help me to bring me back to my body. So here we come full circle, where we start by dropping into our body in the meditation and then go out to express what we've learned. We now go back in by creating something that can catalyze the process to come back to our bodies, to drop back into grounding, to really root in our space. So this totem is used. Take it out of your bag and you put it in front of you and when you're working at, say, the Commons, and you want to have like a really museful, creative day. I put my little totem there in front of me, and it reminds me of all the times that I'm creative. And this thing becomes also a catalyst to help you to first hold it and feel your body and feel your hands and feel the potential, and then placed outside of you to be a kind of symbol that sets the scene for the space. Okay, so that was a long ramble. As you can see, there's a lot bubbling inside me, and I think another reason why I'm so extremely excited about this workshop is because in the preparation for it, I'm really thinking about how I can bring all the teachings that I've invested in this year and that I've researched and that I've taught and that I've really worked with other people into the last workshop for this year. Weekend workshop. I'm going to have some other painting classes during the week, but I know a lot of you can't necessarily join in the week. So this was my opportunity to really create